What's up guys, Aaron Bennett here. In this video, I'm going to talk about FTX, what happened over the last 24 hours, how does this affect Celsius Network, Voyager, Crypto.com, and all the other centralized exchanges. I'm also going to go over the latest articles from Celsius, including Celsius wanting to extend their exclusivity, what that means, what I think about everything. So to start out, giving some updates on FTX, and then tying it all in with Celsius and Voyager. FTX faces liquidity shortfall of up to $8 billion. Scrolling down here, somebody says, I can't imagine there not being a bailout since they lost $8 billion. I tweeted here that Sequoia, which is a massive venture capital firm, they wrote off their entire $150 million investment in FTX official. And I just want to pause here and say that if you are in the United States and you have an FTX US account, try to get your money out immediately. Obviously not financial advice, but that's what I would be telling all of my friends to do. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, said that FTX.com was an offshore exchange not regulated by the SEC. So there is FTX.com, and then there is FTX.US, which is going to be the US entity. And he's basically saying that punishing US companies makes no sense, and this was a response to Elizabeth Warren, who always thinks that she knows what she's talking about when it comes to areas she doesn't, in my opinion, saying that we need more aggressive enforcement, and I'm going to keep pushing the SEC to enforce the law to protect consumers and financial stability. So yes, we need more regulations, but trying to regulate things in the wrong way, which is probably what they're going to do, they're going to come after like Uniswap and DeFi, when really they should have been looking into FTX from the very start. So how does this affect Celsius and Voyager? Well, for Voyager, I'm sure the UCC is scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. Right now, there's still a lot of moving parts and pieces. FTX has not officially declared bankruptcy. I think Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO, has personally declared bankruptcy, but the entity has not, as of me recording this video at 2 a.m. on Thursday, November 10th. So how does this affect Celsius? Well, FTX is clearly not going to be a bidder in the assets, so really it just eliminates one of the major bidders. Now, I do know that Binance actually bid on Voyager's assets. I heard that today in a live Twitter Spaces, but for whatever reason, Voyager was chosen and not Binance. So for Celsius, we may see a Binance offer that is very competitive. Ultimately, though, whatever entity or company wins Celsius's assets is going to have to be incredibly highly regulated. So whether that is Simon Dixon's plan, getting all the regulations intact, so there are absolutely no gray areas and unknowns if they have the right licenses or not. Or whether Celsius comes out with their own plan, it has to be incredibly bulletproof for regulations. So ultimately for Voyager and Celsius, it is still unknown. I assume that Voyager is going to have to pull out of this deal with FTX. A bankrupt or insolvent company is not going to be buying another company's distressed assets. And when it comes to Celsius, we will see what happens there, but I will definitely let you know. Right now, people are buying FTX claims for like 10 cents on the dollar. That is not looking good. Essentially, if you had $100,000 in your account, people are offering 10 grand for that account right now because there's just a lot of speculation on how illiquid were they and how much of a Ponzi potentially were they. How large is the hole? How much was Sam actually gambling with depositor funds? It is a huge mess right now. So now let me dive into the latest stories from the docket on Stretto for Celsius Network. Right here, the UCC is objecting to directing the debtors to amend their schedules. So the Series B investors want the schedules to be redone in US dollars. But the UCC says that Celsius's schedules reflect the entitlements of account holders and least likely to create confusion among those holders because it's in the native cryptocurrency that the customers put into the platform. And this makes more sense than putting them in dollarized amounts, which I definitely agree with. They say that the Voyager case schedules were in cryptocurrency, so therefore, essentially, Celsius should do the same thing. And the UCC here essentially summarizes why the Preferred Equity Committee is pushing this, because they want to capture any potential upside from a rebound in crypto prices. So if it is dollarized in US dollars at the bankruptcy date, if crypto goes up, the preferred equity committee can somehow capture those gains. But if we are paid back in native crypto, which is what the UCC and Kirkland and Ellis, so that is the people representing us and also the lawyers representing Celsius, they both want our claims to be in native crypto. So now heading to Kirkland and Ellis saying the exact same thing. So they are also objecting to amending their schedules. And here Kirkland says it makes perfect sense to schedule the customer's claims in crypto, as again, this is exactly what the debtors owe the customers, so what Celsius owes us under Celsius's terms of use. So next we have the debtors and the SEC extending the deadline to determine a non-dischargeability debt. They move the date to January 17th of next year until that is the deadline where the SEC here, if I zoom in, must file its complaint. So what does this mean? I think they are working together, which is what this document says. They are cooperating and they are saying, all right, we're giving you more time. January 17th, 2023, get your crap together, get out of this mess, get out of Chapter 11, because we are going to prosecute and we are going to look at what you did. And here's a story saying essentially the same thing. Many states are working with Celsius to extend that same non-dischargeability deadline complaint. So what does this mean? Again, the SEC, Celsius, and many states, we have Texas, Vermont, Wisconsin, and many others, are all working together and all essentially cooperating and saying, hey, we're going to file complaints, but we're going to give you some more time to get out of this mess. So here is the story of the day. Notice of hearing on the debtor's motion for entry of an order extending the debtor's exclusive periods to file a Chapter 11 plan. So this motion will be held on December 5th, 2022. So they're giving some reasons why that they deserve this extension. They're saying that there are still some legal questions about the property of the coins in earn, custody, and withhold that need to be addressed. They say they need to wait until these issues are resolved before proposing a Chapter 11 plan. They also want the examiner to submit her report before they propose a plan, or else the plan would possibly be premature. Now they talk about what the debtors did, or what Celsius did in the first 4 months of this Chapter 11 case. I'll just cover a couple things. Stabilizing the debtors' business operations, they improved operational liquidity, pursuing actions against various counterparties such as KeyFi and Prime Trust, implementing a number of prudent cost-cutting measures, $70 million of annual headcount cost savings, and $80 million a year of non-headcount annual cost savings. They negotiated more favorable go-forward terms with vendors, approximately $6.1 million to $1.6 million a month is their reduction, and they reduced mining expenditures from approximately $21.3 million to $13 million a month. Here they talk about they advanced the sale and marketing processes for both the sale of GK8 assets and substantially all of Celsius's assets by providing over 550 documents to potential bidders. They also talk about that if this exclusivity period ends, the debtors fear a resulting avalanche of competing plans. And they finally say that they are optimistic, meaning Celsius, that consensus can be built in the coming months and essentially put forth a plan that will get approved and everybody will like. So that's their reasoning for saying, hey, we deserve more time to put forth a plan. Look at everything we've done. We've done so much. And most likely, from what I've heard from people who are smarter than me in bankruptcy, is the judge will approve this extension. That's usually what happens in Chapter 11 cases. But I will say that in previous hearings, the judge is kind of annoyed with Celsius in certain ways. The judge is like, what have you actually done? What are you doing? And then Celsius says, we'll let you know in the next hearing. That's what happened the last time they were before the judge. So we'll see if this gets approved. Most likely it will. That's what we all kind of expect, at least for now. So to sum up this video, so much is going on with FTX, which does peripherally affect Celsius and definitely Voyager for reasons I've covered, but Voyager will figure it out. Celsius will have a bidder who wants these assets. I mean, there are valuable assets with Celsius and Voyager, and a bidder will come. You know, this isn't something that like nobody's going to want to touch. these are businesses, these are assets, these are customer bases. There's a lot of value here, right? So I'm not concerned. It just may take a little bit more time to get everything worked out for Voyager now, and also possibly for Celsius. There may be even more time we have to wait before we get a bidder. We'll see what happens. I mean, ultimately, this is uncharted territory, and we are all just kind of in it for the ride. I will end the video right here. I'm going to finally share some affiliate links for Trezor and also for Ledger hardware wallets. I personally have both a Ledger and a Trezor. These are the most popular hardware wallets in the industry right now. And if you're unfamiliar, I suggest actually just buying one, honestly, and learning how to self-custody, especially with what's happening with centralized exchanges and obviously what happened with FTX. This Nano S is $79. The cheapest Trezor is a little bit less at $67. Both of these work just fine. They essentially do exactly the same things. I guess this one has Bluetooth, and you can also connect it directly to your iPhone. So you get a little bit more functionality with the more expensive devices. These are affiliate links, so I get, I think, 10% of sales. I believe that's what it is. So it would be cool if you use it. If you don't want to, that's fine as well. But I think it's important now, if you have not gotten into self-custody, to do so. Other self-custody wallets could be Trust Wallet, which is going to be an app on your phone. You have Exodus, which is also free. You have the Crypto.com DeFi wallet, which is also free. These are all wallets where they give you a seed phrase, either 12 or 24 words, and you cannot lose those words, because if you do, there's no way to retrieve your funds. So with hardware wallets like Trezor or Ledger, or holding your coins on Exodus Trust Wallet or a DeFi app, even Coinbase has their own DeFi app. There's plenty of them to choose from. You're not trusting anybody, but if you lose your passphrase and you don't have a backup somewhere, nobody is going to help you. You lost your coins. So that is the responsibility, but also the benefit of getting into these self-custody solutions. All right, guys, that is it for the video. Thanks for watching. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.